Hi, fifth graders. I'm back again for our week 5. We are still in module 1, but we're going to be doing the last lesson today. So I'm going to have you be working on lesson 6 today. So you will have lesson 6 for homework this week. Plus, I'm going to have you also do the module 1 review work. So you will also have that as well for homework this week, that I will need to have copies of that made and returned to school. So I'm going to flip my camera and I'm going to get ready, and we're going to be starting on page 25, lesson 6. So this is what it should look like. Page 25, lesson 6, develop multiplication fluency. I'm going to try to get the whole page in there. So after this lesson, you're going to be able to set up and solve multi-step problems with at least 2 steps. So this isn't going to be just reading a word problem and having just one step to solve. We're going to be having multiple steps that we're going to have to figure out what we need to do to solve these problems. So this first one talks about an amusement park and how it rents out different things at its park. So Fun Park Amusement rents food carts, game booths, equipment, and rides for parties, fundraisers, and county fairs. The rental prices are shown in the table. So if you want to rent a food cart, it's $59. One game booth is $79. Equipment is $99, and a ride is $149. So in May, 36 game booths and 14 rides were rented from Fun Park. How much did Fun Park earn from the game booth and ride rentals in May? So we need to figure out how much they earned from the game booths, how much they earned from the rides, and then they want to know how much they earned with that little and right there all together, right? They want to have how much both of them all together in the month of May. So for the game booths, for each one game booth is $79. For each one ride is $149. So those are the only 2 attractions that were rented in the month of May. So first we need to find what is it they're looking for. The total to rent 36 game booths and 14 rides. So that's what we're looking for. This is what we need to find. When we're all said and done, this is what we're going to be finding all at the end. How much it costs for these, how much it costs for these, all together. So first off, we need to write a multiplication equation to model each cost. So if we want 36 game booths, each one game booth costs $79, but there are 36 of them. So what do you think I need to do to figure out how much total we are going to spend, or they're going to spend to rent 36 game booths? We are going to multiply. I hope that's what you said. So I need to multiply 36 times $79, and that is going to equal, we don't know yet, right? Kind of like we can just put a little box there. Then I need to multiply, I have 14 rides I need to rent, or that were rented. How much was each ride? $149 to rent. So we're going to need to multiply to find the total cost for each item, each attraction that's been rented. So 36 times 79. So remember, we need to start in the what place? We're going to take our 36 and we're going to multiply it by the 9 first. So when I multiply 6 times 9, I get 54. So my 4 comes down here, and I regroup my 5 above my tens place. Now my 3 times my 9, 3 times 9, 27, plus 5, 32. And now I'm going to move over here, right? I'm done in my ones place, and I'm done with that regrouping. Remember, because I'm moving now to my tens place, there needs to be a 0 here in my ones place. 6 times 7, 42. I regroup my 4 up here. 3 times 7 is 21, plus 4 is 25. And then I need to add these together. 4 plus 0 is 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. 3 plus 5 is 8. 2 plus nothing is 2. So the cost for 36 game booths is $2,844. I'm just going to write that this is the game booths. Now I need to find out the cost for 14 rides. I'm going to make sure I put my 3-digit number on top multiplied by my 2-digit number. Okay? It's just like when we subtract. You want to make sure the number that's bigger or the number with more digits is on top. I know I put my smaller number on top here. This, because they're both 2 digits, it's not as big of a deal, but this, the bigger number, must be on top of the smaller number because it has 3 digits multiplied by a 2-digit number. So 9 times 4 is 36. Regroup the 3. 4 times, sorry. I was just doing 4th grade math, and we were adding, so we were using the place values. I apologize. 9 times 4 is 36. So now we're staying this one's place. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 plus 3 is 19. Put my 9 down here, regroup my 1. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So I have 596. I am done in my ones place. I'm done with those regroupings, and I need a 0 in my ones place for my next number because I'm not using my ones place. Now I have to go to my tens. 9 times 1 is 9. 4 times 1 is 4, and 1 times 1 is 1. I'm going to add these up. 6 plus 0 is 6. 9 plus 9 is 18. Regroup my 1. 5 plus 4 is 9, plus 1 is 10. Regroup my 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So this is for 14 rides. So we have figured out how much 36 game booths cost and how much 14 rides cost. How much did Fun Park earn from the game booth and ride rentals in May? Explain how you found the answer. Well, let's think about that. How are we going to find this answer? So I'm going to focus this a little bit. It's not really, I think I need to turn my lights on. There. Is that better? I hope. Yeah, that seems better. Okay. So how much did the Fun Park earn from both of them? Well, what do you think I need to do? I need to add both totals together. So I'm going to need to take 2,844 and I need to add it to 2,086. So when I add those together, 4 plus 6 is 10. Regroup my 1. 8 plus 4, 12 plus 1 is 3, so 13. Regroup my 1. 8 plus 0 is 8, plus 1 is 9, and 2 plus 2 is 4. So the total they earned was $4,930 in May. because you added them both. So your explanation would be the addition, right? So you could either write it in words or show your work right here. I added the cost of the game booths with the cost of the rides. So you added them both together. So this ended up being a 1, 2, 3 step problem because we had to multiply to find the game booths, multiply to find the rides, and then finally add those two totals up. So this multi-step problem had 3 steps to it. All right, page 26. New floor tiles are being installed in a restaurant at an amusement park. There are 254 tiles needed to cover the floor. What is the area of the floor? How can you use the measurements of a floor tile to find the area of the restaurant floor? Well, how do we find the area of something? I hope you remember that area is, A equals length times width, right? So your A is your area, your L is your length, and your W is your width. So when we find the area of anything, it's the width times the length, or the length times the width. So the first step we're going to need to do is figure out, well, what is the area of one tile? Right? So that's my first step. Find the area of one tile. And then what do you think our second step will be? Well, once I know the area of one tile, I know I need 254 tiles. So to figure out the area of the whole floor, then I will take the area of one tile and multiply it by the number of tiles. Multiply the area by 254. Okay, so you're going to multiply the area of one tile by 254. So your first step is this number 1 here. Find the area of one tile. Well, I figured out the area is the length times the width. Well, the length of the tile is 24 inches. The width of the tile is 18 inches. So I'm going to take 24 times 18. I need to multiply the length times the width. So 4, remember we start in our ones place. 4 times 8 is 32. Regroup my 3. 2 times 8 is 16. Plus 3 is 19. I'm done with my ones place. I'm done with my regrouping for that number. So then I need to put a 0 in my ones place because now I'm moving to my tens place. 4 times 1 is 4. 2 times 1 is 2. I'm done with my multiplying, so now I'm going to add. 2 plus 0 is 2. 9 plus 4 is 13. Regroup my 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 2 is 4. So 432 square inches is the area of one tile. So now I need to figure out what the area of the whole restaurant floor is. So remember, I need 254 tiles, and I need to multiply it by 432. So I'm going to start with my ones. 4 times 2 is 8. 5 times 2 is 10. My 0 down here, regroup my 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. I'm done with my 2. I'm done with that regrouping. I'm going on to my tens place. So I'm going to put a 0 in my ones. So I'm just in my tens place now. 4 times 3 is 2. Regroup my 1. 5 times 3 is 15. Plus 1 is 16. Regroup my 1. 2 times 3 is 6. Plus 1 is 7. I am done my tens place and the regrouping. So now I'm moving to the hundreds place. So remember, when I was in my ones place, I just did my multiplication, nothing extra. When I moved to my tens place, I had to put 1 0 here, so that way I could start over in my tens place. What do you think I'm going to do now that I'm in my hundreds place? I hope you said I need to put 2 zeros here, because now I am in my hundreds place. So now I need to get over to where I am under my hundreds place. So 4 times 4 is 16. Regroup my 1. 5 times 4 is 20. Plus 1 is 21. 2 times 4 is 8. Plus 2 is 10. So now I can add 8 plus 2 zeros is 8. 0 plus 2 plus 0 is 2. 6 plus 6 is 12. Plus 5 is 17. Regroup a 1. 1 plus 7 is 8. Plus 1 is 9. 0 plus nothing is 0. And 1 plus nothing is 1. And I'm going to count over 1, 2, 3. And there a comma goes. So I am going to need 109,728 square inches to cover the whole floor. It's a lot of tile. All right, so let's do some check for understanding. This year, a company spends $660 to train one new employee. In 10 years, training costs will be twice that amount. The company expects to hire 635 new employees in the 10th year. How much will the company spend for training? So, how many steps do we think this problem is? What do you think we're going to need to do? Well, this year, the company spends $660 to train one new employee. In 10 years, the training cost will be twice that amount, and they expect to hire 635 new employees in the 10th year. How much is the company going to spend for training? Alrighty, so right now we know that $660 to train one new employee, it's going to be twice that in 10 years. So I need to double my 660. So 660 times 2, that's my first step. I need to double that to figure out how much it's going to cost just to train one employee. So 0 times 2 is 0. 6 times 2 is 12. Regroup my 1. 6 times 2 is 12. So wow, look at that. In 10 years, it is going to now cost $1,320 to train a new employee. And they expect to hire 635 new employees in this 10th year. So we are going to need to take how much it costs to train one employee and multiply that by how many employees they expect to hire in the 10th year. So in our ones place, 0 times 5 is 0. 2 times 5 is 10. Regroup my 1. 3 times 5 is 15. Plus 1 is 16. Regroup my 1. 1 times 5 is 5. Plus 1 is 6. Now I'm done with my ones place, and I'm done with my regrouping. So I'm moving to my tens place, so I've got to make sure I put a 0 here so I can be underneath my tens place. 0 times 3 is 0. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 1 times 3 is 3. So I am done with my tens place, and I did not have any regroupings. Now I'm in my hundreds place, so I've got to make sure I put 2 zeros because I need to be underneath my hundreds place when I start my multiplication. 0 times 6 is 0. 2 times 6 is 12. Regroup my 1. 3 times 6 is 18. Plus 1 is 19. Regroup my 1. 6 times 1 is 6. Plus 1 is 7. They really do not give you much room to do this work, do they? So adding all your zeros, you get 0, and adding all your zeros, you get 0. So 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 0 is still 12. Regroup my 1. Now I'm going to look at this, and I know that 9 plus 1 is 10, so that helps me know that I've got a 10 plus 6 is 16. So right here I've got 16 plus 2 is 18. And again, I know that 9 plus 1 is 10. 10 plus 3 is 13. I like to do ones that are easier, especially if I can get to a 10, then it makes it easier for me to add the other numbers. And 7 plus 1 is 8. So wowza. They are going to spend $838,000, or $838,200 in the 10th year, just on training, just to make sure those employees are trained. Okay, so we are now using this table to help us find rental prices. So how much more is the cost to rent 18 rides than to rent 26 game booths? Oh, we're switching the game up a little bit. My first step I want to find out is my 18 rides. Then I need to find out my 16 game booths, but it wants to know how much more is the cost. So once I find these two out, what do you think I'm going to need to do with those two numbers? I hope you said we're going to subtract them, because that is indeed what we are going to do. So I'm going to get my handy dandy sticky paper because there really is not a lot of room. So first I want to write down, I'm going to have 18 rides. So I know I need 149 times 18. Did I do 18 before? No, of course not. I did 14. I was thinking we could make it easier, but we can't. So these are our rides. And then I'm going to need 26 game booths. So I'm also going to multiply 79 times 26, and that's my game booths. And then remember, I'm going to take both of my answers and I'm going to subtract them because I want to know how much more it is to rent the rides than the game booths. So again, we're going to start in our ones place. 9 times 8 is 72. Regroup my 7. 4 times 8 is 32 plus 7, 39. Regroup my 3. 1 times 8 is 8 plus 3 is 11. So I'm done with my ones place and my regroupings. Now I'm going to move on to my tens place. So you know what that means. I need a 0. So that way I can start underneath my tens place. 9 times 1 is 9. 4 times 1 is 4. And 1 times 1 is 1. And that one wasn't too bad. So I'm going to add these up. 2 plus 0 is 2. 9 plus 9 is 18. Regroup my 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. Plus 1 is 6. And 1 plus 1 is 2. So that's how much it costs for the rides. Or to rent that many rides, 18 rides. How much does it cost to rent 26 game booths? Well, 9 times 6 is 54. Regroup my 5. 7 times 6 is 42 plus 5. 47. Oops. Looks like a 4. I apologize. 47. Then I need my 0 in the ones place because I am now moving to my tens. Remember, I need to line this up. My tens, this is where I'm going to put my first answer. So 9 times 2 is 18. Regroup my 1. 7 times 2 is 14. Plus 1 is 15. I'm going to add these together. 4 plus 0 is 4. 8 plus 7 is 15. Regroup my 1. 4 plus 5 is 9, plus 1 is 10. Regroup my 1, and then 1 plus 1 is 2. So 2,054. Now remember my question asked, how much more is the cost to rent 18 rides than to rent 26 game booths? So I need to take these two numbers and subtract them. So 2,682 minus 2,054. Now, remember, this is always trouble, trouble, trouble. This is, I know it was in the beginning of 4th grade. I'm hoping it won't be trouble with you 5th graders. When we subtract and our top number is smaller than our bottom number, we can't do it. If I have 2 apples, I cannot give you 4 because I only have 2. So I need to regroup. I need to go next door and say, hey, right? I'm going to regroup a 10. So this now becomes 7 10s and this becomes 12 1s. So now I can subtract. 12 minus 4 is 8. 7 minus 5. If I have 7, I can give 5 away, so I have 2. 6 minus 0 is 6. 2 minus 2 is 0. So, how much more is the cost to rent 18 rides than to rent 26 game booths? It is $628. Okay, so there was 3 steps to solve that problem. Now number 3. What is the cost to rent 39 food carts and 48 game booths? So this one is now an addition sentence, or addition problem after we do our multiplication. This is going to be another 3-step problem. So I need 39 food carts. Well, each food cart is $59, and I need 39 of them. So these are my food carts. And then I also need 78 game booths. Well, one game booth is $79, and I'm going to multiply that by 78. And this is my game booths. I should have started down a little lower, but that's okay. All right, so we're ready to do our multiplication. Let's put this up a little higher. 9 times 9, 81. Regroup my 8. 5 times 9, 45 plus 8, 53. I'm finished with my ones place, and I'm going to put a 0 under that because I need to make sure that I'm starting in my tens place. 9 times 3 is 27. Regroup my 2. 5 times 3 is 15 plus 2 is 17. Now I will add them. 1 plus 0 is 1. 3 plus 7 is 10. Regroup my 1. 5 plus 1 is 6, plus 7 is 13. Regroup my 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So $2,301. Now I'm at the game booths. 9 times 8, 72. Regroup my 7. 7 times 8 is 56, plus 7, 62. Oh, wait. 63, sorry. I really have to do 5th grade first because your math is much more time consuming and uses my brain so much more than the 2nd grade math. Or 3rd grade math, I mean. And I always start with 3rd, I don't know why. Okay, so now I'm done with my ones place. Put a 0 there. Now I'm in my tens. 9 times 7 is 63. Regroup my 6. 7 times 7 is 49, plus 6 is 55. 2 plus 0 is 2. 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 5 is 11. 5 plus 1 is 6. 6,162. Now, my question was, what is the cost to rent both of them together? 6,162 plus 2,301. 2 plus 1 is 3. 6 plus 0 is 6. 1 plus 3 is 4. 6 plus 2 is 8. $8,463. And there's the math for that one. So now we're going to be moving to the on your own portion. Remember, you can pause your video right now, try these independently, and then come back and see how you do, or you can stay right here with me. All right, model with mathematics. Cora hits the bullseye, the 75-point circle, 19 times during archery season. She hits the 33-point circle 238 times. What is the total number of points for those two hits? Write an equation to model this situation. So right now it just wants us to write an equation. It doesn't say that we probably should solve it too, but right now we just need to model it. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is what? Well, the first thing I'm going to need to do is take my 19, she hit the center circle, the bullseye, 19 times. So the first step is to say 75 times 19 equals what? And then she hit this 33 circle center or section 238 times. And then I'm going to make this one a circle. And then when we're all done, you need to add your square plus your circle, and that's going to give you your total. So let's solve this one out. Again, I'm going to get my handy dandy sticky paper. If you need to get a separate sheet of paper to do this on, that is fine. I would highly suggest it because they really are not very thoughtful about how much space they give you to do your work. So 75 times 19. 5 times 9, 45. 7 times 9, 63. Plus 4 is 67. I'm done with my ones place and my regrouping. Now I'm going to put a 0 in my ones place at my second number because I need to start underneath here. I'm in the tens place now. 5 times 1 is 5. 7 times 1 is 7. Excuse me. All right, now I'm going to add. 5 plus 0 is 5. 7 plus 5, 12. Regroup my 1, and I have 14. 1,425. And that's how much my little tiny square equals. Now I need to find my little circle. 238 times 33. All right, so 238. We're going to start with our 8 times 3 is 24. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. My 0 in here. I'm done with my ones and my regrouping. Now notice it's 238 times 33, right? So it's the same number. So now 8 times 3 is 24. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Oh, look it. But we're in the tens place now, so we just needed a 0 in the tens place. And I add these up. 4 plus 0 is 4. 1 plus 4 is 5. 7 plus 1 is 8. 7 plus nothing is 7. So that's my circles. And now I need to add my square and my circle. So I need to add 7,854, 1,425. 4 plus 5 is 9, 5 plus 2 is 7, 8 plus 4 is 12, and we've got a 9. So the triangle equals, so our answer would be 9,279 points. That's how much Cora hit. All right, number 5. Excuse me. Shannon burns 46 calories each hour while sleeping. When she plays basketball, she burns 11 times as many calories as she does when she's sleeping. She burns twice as many calories each hour when she runs than when she plays basketball. How many calories does Shannon burn when she runs for 1 hour? So we just need to figure out how much she burns in 1 hour when she runs. So she burns 48 calories when she's sleeping. When she plays basketball, she burns 11 times as many as she does when she's sleeping. So for basketball, we need to take 46 times 11. 6 times 1 is 6. 4 times 1 is 4. My 0 here. 6 times 1 is 6. 4 times 1 is 4. I add them up. 6. 506. So she burns 506 calories when she's playing basketball. So basketball is 506. She burns twice as many calories each hour when she runs than when she plays basketball. So she burns twice as many calories when she runs. So if I have 506 and I know that she burns twice as many, what does that mean that I need to do? Oh, I'm sorry. My paper was way up too high. Twice as many means I need to double, right? I need to double my 506. So I need to multiply by 2. 6 times 2 is 12. 0 times 2 is 0, plus 1 is 1. 5 times 2 is 10. So she burns 1,012 calories when she runs for 1 hour. So this was just a two-step problem because first we needed to know how much she burns when she plays basketball, and then you could figure out how much she burns when she's running. Number 6. Professional soccer fields measure 105 meters by 68 meters. All 24 teams in a professional league use a special sod for their fields. How much of this special sod is needed for all 24 fields? Well, what do you think we need to do to solve this problem? I hope you're thinking or said out loud that it is an area problem. So remember, area is length times width. So first, you need to figure out how much sod is needed for one field. Then you can figure out how much sod will be needed for the 24 fields. So the first step is to multiply 105 times 68. And that's going to give you one field. Okay? 5 times 8, 40. 0 times 8 is 0, plus 4 is 4. 1 times 8 is 8. Remember, I put my 0 in my ones place because now I'm in my tens and I'm done my ones. 5 times 6 is 30. Regroup my 3. 0 times 6 is 0. Put my 3 here. 1 times 6 is 6. So we need 7,140 square meters of sod for one field. Now we want to have 24 fields. So I need to take how much you need for one field and multiply that by 24. 0 times 4 is 0. 4 times 4 is 16. 1 times 4 is 4 plus 1 is 5. 7 times 4 is 28. 0 in the ones place because now I'm in my tens, so I don't need that anymore. 0 times 2 is 0. 4 times 2 is 8. 1 times 2 is 2. 7 times 2 is 14. 0 plus 0 is 0. 6 plus 0 is 6. 8 plus 5, 13. Regroup my 1. 8 plus 2 is 10. Plus 1 is 11. Regroup my 1. 4 plus 2 is 6. Plus 1 is 7. And 1. So, how much sod is needed? 171,360. Remember the label when you are doing area, you have to put that square in front of the meters. Square meters or square miles or square centimeters or square inches or square yards, right? Anytime you're finding the area of something, you need to make sure you add the square part in front of your label. Alrighty, Rudy. Number 7. Admission, oops, sorry. Let me get this up higher. Admission tickets to an amusement park cost $18 each. For a class field trip, the park offers a $5 discount on each ticket. How much will tickets cost for 136 students? Wow. Our first step for this one should be fairly easy. If it normally costs $18 and they're going to get a $5 discount, what does that mean we're going to do? When you get a discount, you subtract. So 18 minus 5, you should be able to do that in your head, but if you need to subtract it out, 8 minus 5 is 3 and 1. So each ticket now only costs $13 because they're having so many kids go. So we're going to take 136 and we're going to multiply that by our new price of $13. So 6 times 3 is 18. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. Done with my ones. 0 in my ones place. 6 times 1 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. 1 times 1 is 1. Add those together. 8, 6, 7, 1. So it will cost $1,768. Number 8. A company makes hardwood for basketball courts. A basketball court is 94 feet long and 50 feet wide. How much hardwood does the company need to make 12 new courts? Well, this is very similar to our soccer fields, right? We needed so much sod for our field. This one we need so much hardwood for our court. It'd be like saying we have 94 feet long by 50 feet wide. So we need to first find the area for one court before we can find the area for 12 new courts. So I am going to get my paper back up here because again I don't have a ton of room. So 94 times 50. So 4 times 0 is 0, 9 times 0 is 0. Easy peasy. I'm done with my 0, so I need to put a 0 because now I'm in my tens place. 4 times 5 is 20. Regroup my 2. 9 times 5 is 45. Plus 2 is 47. So when I add that all up, I get 4,700 square feet. But I want to make 12 new courts. So I need 4,700 and I'm going to multiply that by 12. 0 times 2 is 0. 0 times 2 is 0. 7 times 2 is 14. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9. I'm done with my ones place. I put a 0 in this ones place because now I need to be under my tens place. Now I'm moving over to my number in the tens place. 0 times 1 is 0. 0 times 1 is 0. 7 times 1 is 7. And 4 times 1 is 4. And I'm going to have to pause this because I think that's about my puppy dog. Hold on. Hello? Yes, this is. Hi, I'm good. How are you? Okay. Yeah. No worries. Oh no, poor pumpkin. I figured she would be. Oh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh, good. Uh-huh. Right. Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. She's agitated. Okay. Alrighty. Right. 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 Do you think it's something she needs? Does she need the x-ray to see if there's a blockage? Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Right, right. Mm-hmm. Right, right. Right, right, right. Uh-huh. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Right, right. Mm-hmm.